Otče, my ti děkujeme, že jsme se tady mohli sejít na tom krásném místě, že ještě mír, že tady můžeme být v klidu. A děkujeme ti za ty přednášky a dej, ať si z toho hodně vezmeme pro svůj život a to dovedeme umět předat i těm dalším. Prosím, buď nám ve všem nápomocen a prosím o tvého Ducha Svatého, aby nás vedl. Prosím tě také o moudrost. Děkuji za všechno, co pro nás děláš. Ve jménu Pána Ježíše. Amen.
So I'm well aware of that. This is a lot of new information, which we are about to cover in the last presentations we have together.
Uvedomujem si, že to, čo budeme teraz robiť v najbližšej prezentácii, bude veľa informácií.
But I hope that we get the principle behind it.
A dúfam, že sa nám podarí pochopiť ten princíp, ktorý je za tým.
Everything is recorded, so I hope that people who don't understand everything will also go back to the recordings.
Všetko sa nahráva, takže kto nebude všetkému rozumieť, môže sa k tomu ešte vrátiť.
To deepen the impression thereof.
Aby vlastne to prehlbilo to porozumenie.
As well as strongly suggest people to look these things up.
Ale tiež veľmi odporúčam, aby ste si sami toto vyhľadali.
And study the history of these things.
A preštudovali tie dejiny.
Because it's easier to understand the parallels we make.
Je ľahšie porozumieť tým paralelám,
if we are familiar with that history.
Ak poznáme tie dejiny.
So one thing I didn't do beforehand.
Jedna vec, ktorú som predtým neurobila,
which I would like to do now.
To by som chcela spraviť teraz.
I'll wrap this out. I'll wrap our 8th story out too. Is, as we were talking about our last puzzle piece,
keď sme hovorili o tom poslednom pucliku,
I was suggesting that we are very familiar with internal truth.
Hovorila som, že my sme veľmi dobre oboznámení s tou ako keby vnútornou pravdou.
Understanding what is happening with this movement.
Ktorá vlastne vysvetľuje alebo aplikuje to, čo sa deje s týmto hnutím.
1989 it starts.
V 89. to začína.
1991 and 1992 we have the increase of knowledge.
91 až 2 je vzárast poznania.
1995, 1996 we see it formalized.
95-6 je dané do určitej formy.
By the two magazines. Dvoma magazínmi alebo časopisami. 95 prophetic timelines, 96 time of the end.
95 prorocké linie, 96 čas konca.
Then we have 9/11.
Potom je 9/11.
Then we mark 2004.
Potom 2004.
As the beginning of the foundation being laid.
Začiatok kladenia tých základov.
Sorry, I'll do it below. Till 2014.
Do 2014.
So these are just dates I'm pointing out here.
Toto sú len dátumy, ktoré tak ukazujem.
Where we recognize that something internally with this movement is happening.
Kedy my rozpoznávame, že čosi sa deje vnútorne v rámci hnutia.
2004.
2004.
We have a camp meeting.
Sme mali camp meeting.
The first camp meeting in the United States.
Prvý v Spojených štátoch.
Called Ozone.
Ozone.
Prior to that, Brother Jeff Kavitcher had been traveling everywhere.
Predtým brat Pippinger všade cestoval.
With everywhere, I mean the South America.
Tým všade myslím v rámci Južnej Ameriky.
Middle America.
Strednej Ameriky.
And by that time also in Europe.
A v Európe.
But there was always a neglect to record that present truth in the English language.
Record?
Yeah.
Ale v podstate sa to nenahrávalo.
So 2004 the decision was made to have an English-speaking camp meeting.
A v 2004 bolo spravené také rozhodnutie, že sa spraví stanové zhromaždenie v angličtine.
And at that camp meeting, Ozone,
na tomto camp meetingu v Ozone,
a summary was conducted of all the truths previously understood.
Sa vlastne spravilo také zhrnutie všetkých práv, ktoré boli predtým porozumené.
Followed by another camp meeting 8 years later.
O 8 rokov neskôr
there were various camp meetings. I'm not going to point them all out.
medzi tým boli rôzne camp meetingy, to nejdem všetky menovať.
But here we have a series recorded.
V 2012 bola natočená taká séria prednášok. Habakukové tabulky.
2 tables. And it's 95 videos long.
Je to 95 videí.
That one is about 40, I think.
Tento má asi 40.
So you see from 2004 to 2012,
Od 2004 do 2012
light about doubles.
sa asi tak zdvojnásobilo to svetlo.
Besides that, we mark 2009.
Je tam ešte 2009.
Here there is a series done which is called the 2520 Revealed.
Bola urobená séria odhalených 2520.
Because in 2005,
Lebo v 2005
we discovered the 2520.
sme objavili 2520.
Further, we see 2016,
Neskôr vidíme 2016,
where further light on Daniel 11 is given.
kde je vlastne dané ďalšie svetlo na Daniela 11.
We understand Raphi and Peniel.
Porozumeli sme Rafiu a Paniu.
And I'm recognizing 2018 now,
A ja teraz už zapíšem aj 2018,
where we see times given,
keď je nám daný čas.
as well as then these studies,
Tak ako aj tieto štúdia.
which we call the Midnight Cry.
Tie nazývame polnočným volaním.
We already talked about 2014.
Už sme hovorili o 2014.
Ezra 7:9,
Ezra 7.9,
public evangelism.
verejné evangelizácie.
There were,
Verejná evangelizácia.
I already shared with you that here there was a split going on.
Už som vám povedala, že v 2014 sa udialo rozdelenie.
So the first time
Prvýkrát
there was a shaking within this movement,
bolo triebenie v tomto hnutí.
where people left this movement,
A ľudia opustili toto hnutie.
and after they've left,
A potom ako odišli,
they were still standing in front of the 1843 and 1850 charts,
stále ešte používali tieto tabulky
professing to believe in these truths.
a hovorili, že veria týmto pravdám.
But they were not with us anymore.
Ale už nechceli byť s tým hnutím.
And things like public evangelism,
A veci ako verejná evangelizácia,
the study about the number 4, the 4 generations,
štúdium o 4 generáciách
Joel,
z Joela,
the armies in Joel,
armáda v Joelovi,
as well as literal or symbolic, those subjects were shaking the movement.
a takisto vlastne témy ohľadne výkladu doslovného alebo symbolického. Toto boli vlastne tie témy toho triebenia.
Literal, symbolic was the issue.
I said it already, you said it.
Pardon?
I said it already, you said it before.
Yes, I'm stating now what it was.
Takže to doslovné a symbolické to bol problém.
For example, if you would come across Zephaniah,
Come across what?
the Bible book Zephaniah, sorry.
Čiže kniha Sofoniáš,
You will read about towers which are falling there.
tam sa píše o vežiach, ktoré padajú.
And his brethren at that time
A bratia v tom čase
wanted to apply this literally to
to
9/11.
chceli doslovne aplikovať na 9.11.
And we said, no, it has to be symbolic.
A my sme hovorili, nie, to musí mať symbolické naplnenie.
Just because you see literal towers fall in the Bible,
Len preto, že vidíme, že v Biblii sú nejaké doslovné veže, ktoré padajú,
it doesn't mean that it's the towers in New York.
to neznamená, že to sú tie z New Yorku.
And tower in the Bible prophecy stands for a church.
Väža v biblickom proroctve predstavuje cirkev.
So we see Zephaniah in symbolic language talks about a church or churches falling.
V Sofoniášovi vidíme, že sa píše vlastne o cirkvi, ktorá padá.
And I addressed that
A o tom som hovorila,
because often we tend to take things literal,
kvôli tomu, lebo častokrát my veci berieme doslovne.
which actually should be a symbol
A mali by sme sa na ne pozerať ako na symbol
in Bible prophecy.
v biblickom proroctve.
Anyway, now you know a little bit about the split going on in 2014.
Takže to viete teraz trošku o tom rozdelení, ktoré sa udialo v 2014.
So here I gave you a quick overview of dates we mark in our reform line.
To som vám dala také rýchle zhrnutie týchto dátumov, ktoré zaznačujeme v našej reformnej línii.
Because we recognize something is happening within our movement.
Pretože si uvedomujeme, že niečo sa deje v našom hnutí.
Truth is still valid.
Vyvíja sa pravda.
And as I told you,
Ako som vám povedala,
we were missing the last puzzle piece.
ten posledný kúsok nám chýbal.
And I suggested that this puzzle piece is to know our own history externally.
A ja som povedala, že ten posledný kúsok bol poznať naše dejiny vonkajšie udalosti našich dejín.
And it's given 2018 to us.
A to nám je dané v 2018.
And we had a brief overview of what subjects are being addressed.
Len sme tak zhrnuli, že o akých témach sa tam hovorí.
And it's very interesting.
Je veľmi zaujímavé,
that when you look in our timeline,
sa pozrieme na našu líniu.
All these dates are also very known externally to the world.
Všetky tieto dátumy sú tiež známe určitej udalosti pre svet.
We could take America,
môžeme zobrať Ameriku,
which is the king of the north.
Čo je král severa.
King of the north, how do you spell it?
KS.
KS? Mm-hmm. It's the king of the south. So the king of the north,
král severa,
you can trace him through this history.
Všade v týchto dejinách ho vidíme.
And you will also find very significant dates.
A uvidíme veľmi významné dátumy tu.
Paralleled in his history.
Ktoré sú vlastne v paralele s tými našimi dejinami.
The same as we mark.
Tie isté, ktoré aj my.
With king of the north, in this incident I mean the United States.
Ja kráľom severa myslím Spojené štáty.
But you can also have the Pope.
Alebo pápežstvo môžeme aj zaznačiť.
PA.
PAP. EZ.
So, King of the North can be United States and the Pope.
Král severa môže byť Spojené štáty a pápež.
And we can trace these dates.
A vidíme tu tieto dátumy.
And we find a lot of them in this line as well.
A mnohé z nich sa nachádzajú tiež v tejto línii.
As well, the same with the King of the South.
Tak ako aj kráľ juhu. J.
Okay. This really irritates me. So, the King of the South we can also trace in this history.
A to tiež vlastne vieme vystopovať v týchto dejinách.
Which is Russia.
Ktorým je Rusko.
I just put an R. Russia has a lot of the same dates.
Rusko má mnoho rovnakých dátumov.
Another one would be Islam.
Ďalší by bol Islám.
Same way? Mm-hmm. Islam, we have also a lot of these same dates.
Tiež majú rovnaké dátumy ako my na tej linii.
As well as the internet.
Rovnako aj internet.
Internet was developed 1989.
Ten bol vyvinutý v 89.
1991, the first web browser is
introduced?
Yeah, it's made public.
V 91. prvý prehliadač internetový je zavedený.
1996 we have the first cyber attack.
V 96. prvý kybernetický útok.
9/11 we have the Patriot Act which influences the internet use.
9/11 Patriot Act, ktorý which influences the 9/11 Patriot Act which what?
The Patriot Act influences the use of internet.
Patriot Act vlastne mal dopad na použitie internetu.
We might speak about that a little bit.
Trošku o tom poviem.
Anyway, I just want to show how a lot of the subjects externally
Chcem ukázať, ako mnoho tém vonkajšie
we need to get to familiar with these subjects.
My musíme vlastne vedieť rozpoznať tieto témy.
Because they share the same history as we do.
Oni totiž to ako keby rozprávajú o tých istých dejinách, ktoré my máme.
And a lot of these dates correspond with external events of these various subjects.
A mnoho týchto dátumov korešponduje s vonkajšími udalosťami.
And I'm suggesting this is the last puzzle piece we need to know.
A to je ten posledný kúsok pucle, ktorú potrebujeme.
In order to be able to go to the Levites and 11th hour workers.
Aby sme mohli ísť k Levitom a pracovníkom 11. hodiny.
Okay. So, that being said,
to keď som už povedala,
I wanted to address one thing.
Chcela som povedať jednu vec.
It's like that we're very new to time setting.
Nám je určovanie času niečo veľmi nové.
It's something we have to get used to.
Niečo, na čo si musíme zvyknúť.
And it's something we have to handle very carefully.
A musíme s tým zaobchádzať veľmi opatrne.
Because you can mess up things very quickly.
Veľmi ľahko môžeme niečo domotať.
So in order to play this game,
Na to, aby sme vedeli hrať túto hru.
What does every game have?
Čo má každá hra?
It has rules.
Má pravidlá.
Every game has rules.
Každá hra.
And every player has to keep these rules.
A kto chce hrať, musí dodržiavať.
So also when we introduce time setting,
takže keď hovoríme o určovaní času,
we have to use our rules
musíme používať naše pravidlá,
in order to do the correct time setting.
Aby sme urobili to správne.
And I'm saying correct time setting,
aby sme správne určili čas,
because there's also false time setting.
Sú aj nesprávne určovania času.
For example, David Gates.
Ako David Gates.
If you have heard about it,
ak ste o tom počuli,
he was predicting the sunny law April 19th this year.
Predpovedal nedeľný zákon, which date?
April 19th.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Na 19. apríl.
So I find it interesting that he says April 19th because that's a date which we are familiar with.
To je zaujímavé, že zrovna 19. apríl, pretože to je dátum, ktorý my poznáme.
Of Millerite history.
Z dejín Milleritov.
Yet when he comes up with a date,
ale keď on príde s dátumom,
we need to be careful.
Musíme byť opatrní.
We should look at his foundation of that date.
Musíme sa pozrieť, aké to má základy.
How did he get to that date?
Ako sa k tomu dostal?
What's the story?
Aký je ten príbeh?
What's the logic?
A logika?
When you look at his logic,
keď pozrieme na tú jeho logiku,
he would say that from when the Pope was in Congress in 2015,
že odkedy bol pápež v kongrese v 2015,
it would be 3.5 years till the sunny law would be passed.
Bude to ešte 3,5 roka po nedeľný zákon.
Because the Pope is standing in the Congress,
pretože pápež stojí v kongrese,
which is a place where he ought not to be,
čo je miesto, kde nemá byť.
And then later on the sunny law would be passed.
A príde nedeľný zákon.
He parallels that with the armies in front of Jerusalem.
Dáva to do paralely s armádou v Jeruzaleme.
Where they come,
keď prišli,
they withdraw one more time,
potom odišli,
and then they destroy Jerusalem.
A potom až zničili Jeruzalem.
And so he was paralleling then applying that on April 19th there would be a sunny law.
A on to dával do paralely, že 19. apríla bude nedeľný zákon.
And some followers of his go in the same church as we do.
Niektorí vlastne, ktorí ho uznávajú, chodia do zboru kam aj my.
And one of our group had a conversation with these people.
A my sme sa s nimi rozprávali.
And he told these brethren
teda jeden brat a on mu povedal,
that he doesn't believe that the sunny law will be passed on April 19th.
Že on neverí, že vtedy bude daný nedeľný zákon.
And he told them also why.
A povedal im prečo.
Because he said to develop the study,
lebo na to, aby si urobil štúdiu,
or the way how you have to set time is by using methodology.
Pretože na to, aby si určil čas, musíš mať určitú metodológiu.
You have to have rules.
Pravidlá.
You cannot just pick and choose.
To sa nedá len takto, že tuto si vyberiem a takto mi to pasuje.
And now I'm asking, was on April 19th, was a sunny law passed?
Prešiel nedeľný zákon 19. apríla?
No. So what does it do to people?
Čo to spraví s ľuďmi?
People would just say, okay, they were setting time, it didn't work out, so what is about this time setting? It's just foolishness.
Ľudia povedia, dával čas, nesplnilo sa to, celé toto určovanie času, to je jedno bláznostvo.
Which puts time setting in a bad light.
Dáva to určovanie času na dosť veľa svetla.
So when we set time,
keď určujeme čas,
we need to use a methodology.
Musíme používať metodológiu.
And our methodology has already proven fruit.
Naša metodológia už vlastne dokázala, že prináša ovocie.
Since 2014, Ezra 7:9, we see fruit of our methodology.
Od 2014. vidíme to ovocie toho metodológie.
So we can be sure that the same methodology,
takže si môžeme byť istí, že rovnaký spôsob
we can use to predict time correctly.
Môžeme používať na predpovedanie času.
So how 2019 came up,
ako prišiel 2019,
was that in these various histories,
že v týchto rôznych dejinách,
as I said,
ako som povedala,
midnight kept coming up.
Vychádzala stále na povrch polnoc.
The date 9/11 or the 9th of November.
9. november.
And then also the year 2019 kept up.
A vychádzal aj dátum 2019.
And at first it was ignored.
A najprv si z toho nikto nič nerobil, bolo to ignorované.
But when you go through these stories,
a keď ideme cez tie príbehy
and you apply methodology, And you see how they come together, these lines.
A vidíme, ako tie linie vlastne spolupasujú.
You will see that methodology developed the date November 9th, 2019.
Uvidíte, že to bol spôsob štúdia, ktorý vlastne vyvinul tento dátum 9. november 2019.
Yet you need a story around it.
Ale potrebujeme príbeh okolo toho.
You cannot just pick any date.
Nemôžeme si vytiahnuť nejaký dátum.
You need, it's like when you're on a wall, you go hiking.
Ako keď ideme na túru.
And sometimes when you're in the mountains,
a keď sme v horách,
the path is so narrow.
Je veľmi úzka cesta.
They put a rope next to the wall in the mountain.
Radšej dajú na tú skalu lano.
And as you pass, you're supposed to hold on to this rope.
A jak ideme ďalej, máme sa držať toho lana.
And on this wall, there are most likely these hooks.
A sú tam tie také háčiky.
I'll draw them this way now. And the rope goes all the way through every of these hooks.
A to lanko ide cez tie háčiky.
And I'm suggesting that's an object lesson.
To je ako podobenstvo
of our waymarks.
Našich milníkov.
For example, we have 1989.
Napríklad 89,
9/11,
9/11,
2014,
2014,
and could be 2019.
2019.
So you will have a thread, a story,
takže budeme mať určitý príbeh,
which has to be seen all the way through the line.
A ten je vlastne vidieť v celej tej línii.
You cannot just have the thread here.
Nemôžeme mať tuto nejaký háčik.
And then not here.
Alebo to lano, že bude iba tuto a tuto.
And then maybe pick it up here again.
Potom zase tuto.
That's not how it works.
Tak toto nefunguje.
That's wrong time setting.
To nie je správne určovanie času.
If we look at time, we need to see the thread all the way through the entire story.
Thread is the rope.
Yeah, it's a rope.
Keď vlastne robíme určovanie času, my musíme ako keby to mať celé prepojené tým jedným lánkom.
And when you go hiking,
keď ideme na túru,
and you're at this passage where you need hold on this rope,
tak musíme sa držať lana,
and you don't,
a neurobíme to,
then you're in danger to fall off the path and die.
Sme v nebezpečenstve, že spadneme dole a zomrieme.
Just like in Ellen White's first vision.
Tak ako aj v tom videní Ellen Whiteovej.
Where we need to be careful to not fall off the path.
Musíme byť na to opatrní.
So I hope this helps to understand the principle of how we are to study time.
Dúfam, že to trošku pomáha porozumieť princípu, že ako my musíme študovať čas.
And how we can also figure out if people do time setting correctly or not.
A ako môžeme zistiť, či niekto určuje správne čas alebo nie.
Methodology needs to be used.
Musí byť správna metodológia.
As well as we need to see a thread of a story.
A musíme vidieť ako keby celé lánko toho príbehu.
Through all the waymarks.
Cez všetky milníky.
And you cannot just pick 2015 and then April 19.
Nemôžeme len vznikať a vytiahnuť 2015 a potom 2019.
I think, sorry, there's a bug. I think we need, you need to see the line through all the history.
Čiže tú líniu musíme vidieť cez celé tie dejiny.
Okay. Okay, so this being said,
takže keď sme toto už povedali,
in the last presentation we talked about how today war is conducted.
V poslednej prezentácii sme hovorili o tom, ako vlastne sa robí boj v dnešnej dobe.
You're not on a battlefield anymore.
Už nie sme na bojovom poli.
You're not sending bombs to the other party.
Neposielame si medzi sebou bomby.
But rather, it's like in 1989.
Ale je to ako v 89.
There's an uprising of people against their own government.
Deje sa vlastne pozdvihovanie sa ľudu proti ich vlastnej vláde.
And it's by finding cracks in the society.
A tým, že sa nájdú určité škáry v spoločnosti,
to split it.
Na to, aby sme ju rozdelili.
And make use of that split.
A využili toto rozdelenie.
By using information.
Používaním informácií.
And information, false information,
falošné informácie
will be mingled with a little bit of truth.
Budú zmiešané s nejakou pravdou.
Backed up by somebody who seems legitimate.
A podporené niekým, kto vyzerá dôveryhodný.
And pushed by somebody who can sell the product.
A potom to bude ďalej posunuté niekým, kto dokáže veci predať.
And we talked a little bit how it worked with the subject on AIDS.
Hovorili sme, ako to fungovalo s tým ajcom.
And we said this took about 30-40 years.
A hovorili sme, že to trvalo 30 až 40 rokov.
And now an entire new generation believes that lie.
A teraz celá tá generácia verí tomuto klamstvu.
Well, today with internet and social media,
A dneska s internetom a sociálnymi médiami
and us often having smartphones and tablets and all of that,
a my s týmito všetkými tabletmi a smartfónmi,
those lies don't take 30 years anymore,
tieto klamstvá sa už nešíria 30 rokov,
but a few months or a few days.
a je to len pár mesiacov alebo dní.
So this war got really intensified.
Takže tento boj naozaj sa zintenzívnil a deje sa rýchlo.
So this being said,
Toto, jak som povedala,
we're starting to target now 2014 and it's Sunday law there.
ideme sa pozrieť na 2014 a ten nedeľný zákon 2014.
So first I want to check what do we know?
Najprv chcem zistiť, čo vieme.
What is a Sunday law?
Čo je to nedeľný zákon?
What do we know about what is a Sunday law?
Čo o tom vieme?
What are some characteristics?
Také sú vlastnosti nedeľného zákona. Comes in two phases.
Sunday law comes in two phases.
Yeah, like first they forced to keep Sunday, and then they persecute for keeping Sabbath.
So how are the two phases?
It has two steps.
When you
First you have a Sunday law that you have to keep Sunday, and then afterwards you are persecuted for keeping Sabbath.
okay. I would leave that for a second.
It's also in the pamphlet, and it was in the videos, but it's okay.
There was a lot of pamphlets and videos beforehand.
Okay.
Let's look at our structure here.
Poďme sa pozrieť na túto štruktúru.
How does our plant look like at a Sunday law?
Ako vyzerá naša rastlinka v nedeľnom zákone?
What is he saying?
Klas tam.
We already have here.
Okay, we have fruit.
Máme tam už nejaké ovocie alebo úrodu.
Okay, I'm just going to draw. We see fruit.
Je tam úroda.
It's not ripe yet,
Ešte nie je zrelá.
but we can see already the fruit.
A vidíme tam tú úrodu.
What did we say? At this point,
Čo sme hovorili v tomto bode?
what starts?
Čo začína?
This is the turning point between what?
Toto je bod obratu medzi čím?
What were they saying?
Čo ste povedali?
Poslední deň?
Between early and late rain.
Yes, this is the turning point between early and latter rain.
Je to taký bod obratu medzi skorým a neskorým dažďom.
Means the latter rain starts as well.
Začína aj neskorý dážď.
Means that we already have two characteristics of the Sunday law.
Takže máme dve vlastnosti nedeľného zákona.
We see fruit
Vidíme úrodu
and we see a latter rain.
a neskorý dážď.
So let's look at another characteristic.
Poďme pozrieť na ďalšiu vlastnosť.
We've looked at the plant
Pozreli sme na
and
rastlinku.
we saw in Mark 4 how it grows.
V Markovi 4 sme videli, ako rastie.
But in Matthew 13,
V Matúšovi 13
we see the same parable.
vidíme rovnaké podobenstvo.
Also our plant is growing in this time period.
Tiež nám tu rastie rastlinka,
But here some symbols are added.
ale sú tu nejaké ďalšie symboly.
This is also the parable of the wheat and the tares.
Toto je podobenstvo o pšenici a kukoli.
So we see while here the wheat is growing,
Vidíme, že zatiaľ, čo rastie kúkol,
in Matthew 13,
v Matúšovi 13,
we would see that also tares are growing.
vidíme, že rastie aj plevel.
And my question is,
Moja otázka je,
when do the tares appear?
kedy sa objaví ten plevel?
When can they see the difference between a wheat and a tare?
Kedy je vidno rozdiel medzi pšenicou a kúkolom?
Can somebody read verse 26, 13:26?
Môžete prosím prečítať Matúš 13:26? Niekto prečítajte prosím.
Když vyrostlo stéblo a nasadilo na klas, tu se ukázal i plevel.
Is it saying when the fruit came forth, the tares also? Okay, so we see here, we know the parable.
Poznáme to podobenstvo.
We know that when the good seed was sown,
Keď bolo dobré semeno zasiaté,
at night who comes?
kto prišiel v noci?
The enemy, right?
Nepriateľ.
And he sows tares.
A zasial plevel.
So the tares are being sown,
Takže ten plevel je zasiatý.
but nobody knows it.
Nikto o tom nevie.
And they also spring up,
Vypúči to,
because that's what the rain does. It causes the grain to the seed to germinate.
to je to, čo robí dážď, že spôsobí, že semiačko vyrastie,
But the servants who are watching, they don't see any difference.
ale tí služobníci nevidia žiaden rozdiel.
But it is when the fruit comes.
Ale už ho vidia, keď je tam ovocie.
Now the servants see a difference,
Teraz je vidno rozdiel.
because they will see that the tare has a different fruit.
Pretože budú vidieť, že plevel má iné ovocie.
So now they know in the field there are wheat and tares.
Takže teraz už vedia, že na poli je pšenica aj kukol.
The servants want to pull it,
Služobníci to chcú vyťahnuť,
but what does the master say?
ale čo povie ten pán?
He says, keep it till the harvest.
Nechajte to až do žatvy,
Otherwise you would harm the wheat.
lebo inak ublížite pšenici.
So we see that the tares will be there till the very end, the harvest.
Takže vidíme, že ten kukol tam bude až do konca, do žatvy.
So this is something we saw already in Matthew 25,
Toto je niečo, čo sme videli v Matúšovi 25.
the virgins.
V družičkách.
At the beginning, when they were going out,
Na začiatku, keď vyšli,
you were not able to tell the difference.
nevideli sme v nich rozdiel.
Even when the tearing time happened, you couldn't tell the difference.
Aj keď sa udial ten čas vyčkávania, stále sme nevideli rozdiel.
When did you see the difference?
Kedy sme videli rozdiel?
You saw it at midnight, and the midnight cry.
O polnoci a pri polnočnom volaní.
That's where one group had oil, the other didn't.
Vtedy jedna skupina mala olej a druhá nie.
So let's check here in our scale.
Takže poďme sa sem pozrieť.
We said when the virgins wake up,
Keď tie panny sa prebudili,
we can see that this is a son-in-law.
vidíme, že toto je nedeľný zákon.
It's exactly the same as with Matthew 13.
Presne to isté ako v Matúšovi 13.
The servants are not able to see the difference
Služobníci nevidia rozdiel,
till the point where fruit is developed.
až dokým je rozvinuté to ovocie.
Now they see the difference.
Teraz vidia ten rozdiel.
So, adding to this here, to this list,
Aby som pridala k tomuto zoznamu,
I would add that now you can see also the tares at the son-in-law.
môžeme povedať, že vidíme už aj ten plevel alebo kukol.
So far we have symbols that you can see the fruit,
Zatiaľ máme symboly, že vidno ovocie,
the latter rain starts,
začína neskorý dážď
and you see the tares.
a vidíme ten plevel.
What does it mean to see the tares?
Čo to znamená vidieť plevel?
Beforehand they saw only one group,
Predtým videli iba jednu skupinu.
but were there really one group?
Ale bola tam iba jedna?
No, there were two types of virgins,
Nie, boli tam dva druhy panien.
two types of plants.
Dva druhy rastliniek.
And here they demonstrate themselves.
A tu vlastne sa preukázali.
Here you see two groups.
Tu vidíme dve skupiny.
What means two groups?
S.
2S. Two groups are being demonstrated.
Dve skupiny sa ukážu.
And I suggest with that we can see that character is also being demonstrated.
A s týmto tiež môžeme vidieť, že je vlastne preukázaný charakter alebo povaha.
This plant is either wheat or a tare.
Tá rastlinka je buď pšenica alebo plevel.
So this being said, let's see if we can meet these characteristics in 2014.
Poďme sa pozrieť, či vidíme tieto charakteristiky pri 2014.
Because we say 2014 is a son-in-law.
My hovoríme, že nedeľný zákon je, teda že 2014 je náš nedeľný zákon.
Let's go with the easy one first.
Poďme najprv s tým jednoduchým.
The latter rain.
Neskorý dážď.
We mark here the latter rain beginning here in 2014.
Ten začal v 2014.
What is the latter rain?
Čo je ten neskorý dážď?
The latter rain is water
Je to voda,
which is a message,
ktorá je posolstvo,
which is supposed to ripen the grain.
ktorá má vlastne spôsobiť, aby dozrela tá úroda.
And it also, the latter rain is, we call it also the outpouring, meaning there comes much rain.
A tiež to nazývame ako vyliatie, čo znamená, že je to dažďa veľa.
And this is exactly what Ezra 7:9 did.
A to je presne to, čo spravil Ezráš 7.9.
With Ezra 7:9 coming up here in 2014,
To, že v 2014 Ezráš 7.9 bol daný,
since that time our message exploded.
od tohto času naše posolstvo explodovalo.
So many different truths came out
Také rôzne pravdy prišli,
that it's hard to keep up with it.
že už je ťažké s tým udržať krok.
And I suggest that's a type of or a symbol for the latter rain.
A to je symbol pre neskorý dážď.
As well as we see here that fruit is being developed.
Tak ako aj to, že vlastne je už vyvinutá úroda.
We see our methodology,
Vidíme metodológiu,
which we received in this time period,
ktorú sme dostali v tomto čase,
is developing fruit here.
Že to teraz vlastne prináša úrodu.
We're taking William Miller's rules,
Berieme pravidla Williama Millera
as well as line upon line,
a tiež línia na líniu,
beginning and end.
začiatok a koniec.
God's dealing with man is ever the same.
To, že Boh robí s ľuďmi vždy rovnako.
We apply all these things.
A toto všetko aplikujeme.
And 2014 we come to the understanding
A v 2014 prichádzame k pochopeniu
of fractals.
o fraktáloch.
The only way we can understand fractals is by using this methodology.
Jediný spôsob, ako môžeme rozumieť fraktálom, je používajúc túto metodológiu.
This is our structure.
To je naša štruktúra.
And the rule is that in a fractal we apply it the same way.
A pravidlo je, že vo fraktále to aplikujeme rovnako.
And Ezra 7:9 does that for us.
Ezráš 7.9 to robí pre nás.
It's a fruit of of our methodology.
To je to ovocie tej metodológie.
Yet we know it still has to ripen.
Ale stále vieme, že to ešte musí dozrieť.
And we can see that.
To vidíme.
We see as 2016 we get further light in Daniel 11.
V 2016 sme dostali viac svetla o Danielovi 11.
2018 we introduced time.
V 2018 prišiel čas
And I'm suggesting that we're almost ripe.
a už sme takmer dozreli.
With we, I mean our methodology, this movement.
Ja myslím tým ten spôsob štúdia, toto hnutie.
And the only puzzle piece we were missing was this one here.
A to jediné, čo nám chýbalo, bolo toto.
This one.
Toto.
So we're almost ripe.
Takmer sme dozreli.
So we can see even that fits with 2014.
Vidíme, že aj to pasuje s 2014.
Do we see two groups being developed?
Vidíme, ako sa rozvinuli dve skupiny.
And I suggest yes, we do.
Ja poviem áno.
I just told you about the shaking happening in
Práve som
2014.
vám povedala o tom triebení, ktoré sa stalo v 2014.
We're seeing two groups being developed.
Vidíme, že sa rozvinuli dve skupiny.
That's exactly what we see here at the Sunday law happening.
To je presne, čo vidíme tu pri Nedeľnom zákone.
This is also what Ellen White describes in Great Controversy, chapter 38.
To je to, čo len Whiteová popisuje vo Veľkom spore 38.
We saw those people who are faithful to God,
Videli sme, že títo ľudia, ktorí boli verní Bohu,
keeping the Sabbath,
dodržiavajú sobotu,
and then we have the wicked ones,
a potom máme tých bezbožných,
the ones who go in apostasy and are disobedient to God's word.
ktorí idú do odpadnutia a sú neposlušní Božiemu slovu.
We see the same in this fractal.
To isté vidíme v tomto fraktáli.
We say those people who are faithful to God
Tí, ktorí sú verní Bohu
and move on and see public evangelism, for example, and are obedient,
a napríklad sú poslušní aj tým témam ako verejná evangelizácia,
or the issue about Joel, for example, the 4 generations,
alebo ten problém s tým Joelom ohľadne 4 generácií,
and others say, no,
a iní povedia nie.
we're not going to be obedient.
Nechceme byť tomuto poslušní.
And another thing is, like Sister Monica was saying,
Sestra Monika povedala,
what happens to those people who are faithful at this point?
čo sa stane týmto ľuďom, ktorí sú verní.
Persecution.
Prichádza prenasledovanie.
So do we see persecution in 2014?
Vidíme prenasledovanie v 2014.
We need to keep in mind
Musíme si držať v mysli,
that this is a fractal.
že toto je fraktál.
So we will see all the characteristics,
Uvidíme tu tie vlastnosti,
but yet not in its full extent as we will we are about to see them.
Ale nie je to ešte také úplné alebo dokonalé naplnenie toho, ako to má v skutočnosti vyzerať.
It's every time it's going to increase and be bigger, more it's going to intensify.
Stále sa to ako keby zosilní a zväčší.
So here we can see persecution.
Tu vidíme prenasledovanie.
In the form of those people who left us.
Vo forme ľudí, ktorí od nás odišli.
We're often persecuting verbally the people who stayed in the movement.
A veľmi často vlastne sú verbálne prenasledovaní alebo verbálne prenasledujú tých, ktorí v hnutí zostali.
Which was not an easy time to go through for many people.
Pre mnohých ľudí toto bol veľmi ťažký čas.
And the Sunday law,
nedeľný zákon,
it splits people in two. What I mean, it develops two groups.
Rozdeľuje ľudí na dve skupiny, vyvíja dve skupiny.
It cuts through families.
Rozdeľuje rodiny.
Through marriages.
Manželstva.
Kids and parents.
Deti a rodičov.
Friendships.
Priateľstva.
Brothers and sisters.
Bratov a sestry.
And we see that within this movement the same is happening.
A toto sa presne deje v tomto hnutí.
You often see kids are accepting the message, the parents won't.
Vidíte napríklad deti, ktoré príjmu to posolstvo a rodičia nie.
Or vice versa.
Alebo naopak.
Often people tell me stories when they come into this movement, they lose their friends.
Ľudia mi hovoria, že keď vstúpia do tohto hnutia, stratia svojich priateľov.
Often is that one entity in a marriage will accept this truth, the other not.
Alebo iba jeden z manželstva to príjme a druhý nie.
It's exactly the same as Ellen White describes it here.
To je presne to, čo Ellen Whiteová popisuje tu.
So from that alone,
takže len z tohto,
with this logic, we would see that 2014 has to be a Sunday law.
Vidíme, že ten 2014 musí byť nedeľný zákon.
And technically this could be enough.
Technicky to by nám malo stačiť.
Yet the Lord has also recently shown us how externally there was actually a Sunday law.
Ale nedávno nám Pán Boh ukázal aj, kde bol nedeľný zákon vo vonkajšej udalosti.
And with this I want to talk now.
A o tom chcem hovoriť teraz.
But first we want to understand what a Sunday law is.
Najprv musíme porozumieť, čo to je nedeľný zákon.
And remember two things.
Pamätajte na dve veci.
The first quote we read 2 nights ago,
prvý citát, ktorý sme čítali,
was that sometimes through our preconceived ideas,
bol ten, že niekedy cez naše predpojaté názory
we believe some error.
Veríme nejakému omylu
and don't understand the truth.
A nerozumieme novej pravde.
Excuse me. Secondly,
a potom
we said that when Ellen White writes The Great Controversy / Sunday Law,
sme hovorili, že keď Ellen Whiteová píše veľký spor a hovorí o nedeľnom zákone,
she will talk about how it would happen in her time.
Hovorí o tom, jak to malo vyzerať v jej dobe.
And we need to apply it into our time.
My to musíme aplikovať na našu dobu.
As a symbol.
Ako symbol.
So, what do you think, that in mind, these two things,
čo si myslíte, tieto dve veci,
what do you think is actually a Sunday law?
Čo si myslíte, že je nedeľný zákon?
How do you say Sunday law?
NZ.
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 So this is law and this is Sunday? Okay. So Sunday law.
Nedeľný zákon.
These are two words.
To sú dve slova.
What is Sunday?
Čo je nedeľa?
Den slunce.
The sun.
The sun. And who uses Sunday?
Pagan.
Pagan?
Kto používa nedeľu?
And what church? I mean?
They say Pope.
The Pope. So is it religious or the state?
Je to náboženské, alebo je to štátne niečo?
Náboženské.
It's religion, right?
To je niečo náboženské.
So this here is religion.
To je náboženstvo.
What is this?
Čo je toto?
This is a law.
To je zákon.
Who passes law?
Štát. State.
That's the state.
Kto vlastne dáva zákony?
So when we talk about the Sunday law,
keď hovoríme o nedeľnom zákone,
what do we actually see?
Čo vlastne vidíme?
We see the combination of church and
To je
state.
kombinácia cirkvi a štátu.
So what is a church in Bible prophecy?
Čo je cirkev v biblickom proroctve?
Žena.
Žena.
Woman.
A woman.
Žena.
So I'll try to draw a woman. So the church is a woman.
Takže cirkev je žena.
What is the state?
Čo je štát?
Muž.
It's a man.
Muž.
Muž means man.
Mhm.
That's cool. So, and when they come together,
Keď sa spoja,
that means they come together, right?
sa spoja.
What do people do when they come together?
Čo robia ľudia, keď sa spoja?
They marry, right?
Zoberú sa.
So what is actually a Sunday law?
Čo je vlastne nedeľný zákon?
A Sunday law is the marriage, or let me say, a Sunday law is the combination of church and state.
Je to kombinácia cirkvi a štátu.
But who's the dominant in this relationship?
Kto v tomto vzťahu je dominantný? Žena. Woman.
The woman. I have a question.
Mám otázku.
Is it bad that the woman is in control of the
Je to
relationship?
zle, keď žena dominuje vo vzťahu?
Áno.
Biblically, yes.
Biblically, yes. So let's turn things around
Takže to otočme.
and let's see if what happens
Čo sa stane,
when the man would be in the control of the relationship.
ak muž je vlastne dominantný v tom vzťahu?
Would that be better?
Bolo by to lepšie? Áno.
Yes?
Áno.
Why?
You want to know why practically or prophetically?
Oh,
Prečo je to lepšie?
Protože to Bůh přikázal.
Because it's God's way.
is it God's way that the state controls the church?
Je to Boží spôsob, aby štát kontroloval cirkev?
Because what happens
Čo sa stane,
if this here would be the SDA church?
ak by toto bola cirkev adventistov?
Let's say.
CASD.
And this, for example, is USA.
A toto Spojené štáty.
What would the state tell the Adventist church?
Čo by štát povedal cirkvi adventistov?
I suggest that when this happens,
Keď sa toto stane,
the state could tell anything the Adventist church, and the Adventist church has to obey.
štát môže povedať čokoľvek a adventná cirkev musí poslúchať.
Which means this church is not free to do what it wants.
Takže cirkev nemá slobodu robiť to, čo chce.
It's not free to obey God
Nie je slobodná, aby poslúchala Boha.
in whatever form it is.
V akejkoľvek forme.
Sabbath, for example.
Napríklad ohľadne soboty.
This state could tell you're not allowed to keep Sabbath.
Štát môže povedať, nemáš dovolené dodržiavať sobotu.
I'm the man in this relationship, so I get to choose.
Ja som muž a ja rozhodujem.
You can't keep Sabbath.
Nemôžeš dodržiavať sobotu.
And the church would have to obey.
A cirkev by musela poslúchať.
So what I'm trying to do here is,
To, čo chcem tu urobiť je,
I'm trying to show that this is a model we're familiar with,
chcem ukázať, že toto je model, ktorý poznáme
and we know it's bad.
a vieme, že je zlý.
But I wanted to twist things around
Chcem to pretočiť,
to show you that the other way around is also bad,
aby som vám ukázala, že aj ten iný spôsob je zlý.
because they should not be married at all.
Oni nemajú byť spolu vôbec zobratí, cirkev a štát.
The state should not rule the church,
Štát nemá vládnuť cirkvi
and the church should not rule the state,
a cirkev nemá vládnuť štátu.
at least in this world,
Aspoň nie v tomto svete.
because this is a world full of sin.
Lebo tento svet je plný hriechu.
So, just putting this away, so we know a Sunday law,
Nedeľný zákon
which is church and state
je cirkev a štát.
together, married,
Spojený.
but here the woman rules the relationship.
Túto žena vládne vzťahu.
We know they shouldn't be together, it's not a good relationship.
Vieme, že by nemali byť spolu, že to nie je dobrý vzťah.
So what happens when people are married?
Čo sa deje, keď sú ľudia zobratí?
What will come out of this relationship?
Čo vznikne z takého vzťahu?
Children.
Deti.
So this relationship will produce children,
Tento vzťah produkuje deti.
little babies. And I'm suggesting
Ja hovorím,
that children are not all the same.
nie každé dieťa je rovnaké.
We have child number 1, or child number star, child number triangle, and child number circle.
Jeden je ako hviezdička, druhý ako trojuholník a tretí ako kruh.
I'm not going to try to make like 1, 2 or 3 because that would put a sequence to it and I'm not trying to do this.
Nechcem z toho spraviť poradie, preto tam nedávam čísla.
All I'm trying to show here
Chcem ukázať,
that this unloved relationship
že tento nezákonný vzťah
can demonstrate itself in various forms.
môže seba samého ukázať v rôznych formách.
But in every form,
A v každej forme
it would show that these two are together
ukazuje, že títo dvaja sú spolu
and that the woman is in control of the relationship.
a že žena je vládne vzťahu.
Does that make sense?
Dáva zmysel?
It's afternoon and it's after lunch.
Can I have a comment? I was actually thinking about this a longer time ago, how it's supposed to look when a man rules the relationship, because it is biblically that way that a woman should be submissive, because as we are submitted to Christ. So I was thinking that if a man loves the woman, then and the woman is submissive, is the way that God did this. You know what I mean? In a practical relationship. And so I was thinking with the state and the church that the state, if you don't have a dictator or someone who is tyrannic, which is also tragedy in a marriage anyway. But if you have a loving husband, if you have rulers who really want to do the best for their country and for the people in the country, then they give laws that are good, and the woman is free within those laws. I don't know if you know what I mean, but this is how I was thinking about it.
That would be the ideal, but that's hardly ever the case.
Yes, but we are talking about the biblical model, and the biblical model is that the man should love the woman. You know what I mean? So
what would that have to do with you?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that if we take it into a prophetic level, then the statesman should do everything that is the best for the people in their country and also for the church. So the laws wouldn't be against the woman. You know what I mean? So if it was a biblical model of prophetic model. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll think about it. I can't comment on it right now, so I'll just let it be.
Okay.
So where were we?
And I shouldn't translate. Not necessary.
Not necessary. We can talk about it privately. So we have a Sunday law, which we always expect as Adventists.
Takže máme nedeľný zákon, ktorý vždycky očakávame ako adventisti.
And what I want to show you that Sunday is the religious aspect and the law is the state aspect.
Takže nedeľa je vlastne ten aspekt cirkevný a zákon je ten aspekt štátny.
And they are married.
A sú zosobášení.
Here the woman is in control.
Pričom žena vlastne je v nadvláde v tom vzťahu.
And this relationship will produce children.
A toto spôsobí, že budú deti v tom vzťahu.
And children will all look the same, look differently.
Každé dieťa bude vyzerať inak.
So when we look at our lines and take this symbol take this logic and bring it to our lines.
Keď my vezmeme túto logiku a dáme to na našu líniu.
And we have the various Sunday laws for different groups.
A máme rôzne nedeľné zákony pre rôzne skupiny.
We shall not look for a law in Congress in the United States which tells us to keep Sunday.
My by sme nemali vlastne hľadať zákon v Kongrese Spojených štátov, ktorý nám povie, že máme dodržiavať nedeľu.
Because that might look like one child.
To môže vyzerať ako jedno dieťa.
But there might be more children.
Ale môže byť viac detí,
which demonstrate this combination.
Ktoré preukazujú túto kombináciu.
So when we are going to look for a Sunday law in symbol,
keď budeme hľadať nedeľný zákon v symbole,
what we're really looking for is this relationship between the two.
To, čo my vlastne hľadáme, je vzťah medzi týmito dvoma.
So in 2014 we should look for a relationship between the church and the man.
Takže v 2014 by sme mali hľadať vlastne spojenie alebo vzťah medzi mužom a ženou, teda cirkvom a štátou.
How they came together.
Ako sa spojili.
And how the woman is ruling the man.
A ako žena vlastne vládne nad tým mužom.
And this way we find how in 2014
a v 2014
we see let me back up. In 2014 we see this union coming together.
Vidíme, ako sa táto jednota uskutočňuje.
But it's not like a law in Congress.
Ale nie je to ako zákon v kongrese.
As we normally expect it to be as Adventists.
Tak ako adventisti to očakávame.
That's why I said at the beginning.
Preto som na začiatku povedala.
We have previous traditions.
Máme určité tradície v sebe,
which we might have to reconsider.
Ktoré budeme musieť zvážiť znovu.
Because if we don't,
lebo ak to neurobíme,
we might miss things.
Môže sa stať, že nám uniknú niektoré veci.
As we did.
Tak ako sa nám to už stalo.
Because in 2014 we missed that event.
V 2014 nám toto uniklo.
And the Lord has to bring us back.
A Pán nás musel priviesť späť.
And show us, look, this is what happened and you missed it.
A ukázať nám, aha, toto sa už stalo a vám to ušlo.
And we realized that.
My sme si uvedomili.
And we're catching up.
A teraz sa to snažíme dobehnúť.
And here we cannot do the same mistake another
A
time.
v 2019 nemôžeme spraviť tú istú chybu znova.
We're not allowed to.
To nie je dovolené.
Okay, so this being said, when we look at 2014,
keď sa pozrieme na 2014,
and who came together,
kto sa vlastne s kým spojil?
We will have to go back and look at a little bit more of history.
Museli by sme ísť naspäť a pozrieť sa na dejiny.
For this, we go to Revelation 17 first.
Takže poďme najprv do Zjavenia 17.
What is the time?
Koľko máme?
10 minutes, right?
57 minutes.
Okay, 57. So let's go for Revelation 17. Make the point there and then close.
Poďme do Zjavenia 17 a potom to uzavriem.
Revelation 17 is about what?
Zjavenie 17 je o čom?
O nevěstce na šelmě.
About the woman riding the beast.
The woman riding
the
the
whore.
Yeah, thank you. So let's read verse 5.
Čítajme 5. verš. Niekto prečtajte, prosím.
Na svojom čele mala napísané meno, tajomstvo, veľký Babylon, mater smilníc a ohavnosti zeme.
So the great whore,
tá veľká smilnica,
which is the mystery Babylon,
čo je vlastne Babylon.
What is her family status?
Aký je jej rodinný status? Mother.
She is a mother.
Je matka.
So we have here a mother.
Máme tu matku.
And by now,
a teraz,
she has little children.
Má malé deti.
She has little girls.
Má dievčatka.
She's the mother of harlots.
Je maminka tých je mamina tých prostitútok.
Meaning her kids are feminine.
Jej deti sú zatiaľ dievčatá alebo ženy.
Beforehand,
predtým,
this harlot was singular by herself.
Predtým ona bola sama.
When did she get these children?
Kedy získala tieto deti?
She was with a man, okay.
Musela byť s mužom.
But in what time period, I'm asking?
V ktorom čase?
When did?
60?
No, that's when she's alone.
Vtedy bola, but she was married in 1260.
Yeah, but the children were not born then.
Okay.
When who is that? That's the Catholic Church, right?
To je katolícka cirkev.
When is it receiving children?
Kedy ona získala tie svoje deti?
1260.
He says 1260. Ty si čo povedal?
No. Potom, keď to stala ráno. Čiže po...
After she got the wound.
Yes.
I think it was April 19.
Yes. It's Millerite history.
V dejinách Mileritov.
It's how Protestants fall into apostasy.
Keď vlastne protestanti odpadli,
we call now this the mother, the Catholic Church.
Teraz je ona matka,
which herself calls itself the mother of all churches.
Ona sama sa nazýva matkou všetkých cirkví.
And we saw how Protestantism went back to the mother.
A vidíme, ako protestantizmus sa vrátil k tej svojej mame.
Now they've become the daughters of the harlot.
A stali sa dcerou tej prostitútky.
So what I'm taking from Revelation 17
Zo zjavenia 17 si beriem
is that the mother has daughters.
to, že matka má dcery.
And she's married with the state.
A je zosobášená so štátom.
We see this symbol in a story in the Bible.
Vidíme tento symbol v príbehu
Where do we see this?
Biblie, kde?
This is Herod and Herodias.
To je vlastne Herod a Herodiada.
Herod is the state.
On je štát,
Herodias is the woman,
Herodiada je žena,
which is married to him.
ona je s ním zosobášená,
But were they actually allowed to be together?
ale mohli oni byť v spojení?
No.
Nie.
It was an unlawful relationship
To bol
between the
vzťah
two.
bezzákonný v Božích očiach.
And what happened was
Čo sa stalo?
that Herodias had a daughter,
Bolo, že Herodiada mala dceru
Salome.
Salome.
And what did she do?
Čo urobila?
What did the mother want Salome to do?
Čo chce tá matka, aby urobila Salome?
Aby tancovala.
Dance.
She wanted her to dance
Ona chcela, aby tancovala,
in order to deceive Herod
aby zviedla Heroda,
to kill John the Baptist.
aby zabil Jana Krstiteľa.
So when we apply this at the end of the world,
Keď toto aplikujeme na koniec sveta,
we know the mother is Catholic Church.
vieme, že matka je katolícka cirkev,
The daughter, in this sense, is the apostate Protestantism.
dcera v tomto zmysle odpadlý protestantizmus.
And what is apostate Protestantism doing?
A čo robí ten protestantizmus?
It is doing the... Yes, please?
Dancing.
Yes. It's doing the will of the mother.
Robí vôľu svojej matky, tancuje,
To deceive him,
aby ho zviedla
so he is killing John the Baptist.
a on nakoniec zabije Jana Krstiteľa.
So this gives us a further detail
Toto nám dáva taký väčší detail
on what we need to look for in 2014.
ohľadne toho, na čo sa musíme pozerať v 2014.
When we look for this relationship at Sunday law,
Keď hľadáme vlastne tento vzťah pri nedeľnom zákone,
we always think, oh, it's the Pope
myslíme si, že je to pápež
and the President of the United States.
a prezident Spojených štátov.
But in this story, we see that the mother is not as active. She's quite in the background.
Ale v tomto príbehu vidíme, že tá matka nie je vôbec taká aktívna, ona je v podstate v pozadí za oponou.
And the daughter is acting on the will of the mother to deceive the father.
A tá dcera vlastne pôsobí vo vôli svojej matky.
Excuse me, to deceive the man in this relationship.
Aby vlastne zviedla toho muža v tom vzťahu.
Not necessarily the father. So, in that perspective,
V tejto perspektíve
I suggest in 2014,
v 2014
we need to look for a combination of church and state,
musíme sa pozrieť na kombináciu cirkvi a štátu,
but not necessarily the mother and, meaning Catholic Church and the United States,
ale nie nezbytne katolícku cirkev so Spojenými štátmi,
but we can look at the daughters,
ale musíme pozerať na tie dcery.
which is apostate Protestantism.
A to je odpadlý
So we
protestantizmus.
should look for apostate Protestantism,
Mali by sme sa pozerať na odpadlý
how
protestantizmus,
it connects with the state,
ako sa spája so
the
štátom,
United States,
Spojenými štátmi,
and who's ruling that relationship.
a kto vlastne vládne tomu vzťahu.
And that we will look at in the next
A
presentation.
na to sa pozrieme v ďalšej prezentácii.
Let's pray.
Poďme sa pomodliť.
Dear Father in heaven,
Drahý nebeský Otče,
we thank you for this day of studying.
ďakujeme Ti za tento študijný deň,
We were able to grasp all these truths.
že sme mohli porozumieť týmto pravdám.
Lord, it might seem as much. It might seem much.
Môže sa zdať, že je toho veľa.
So we ask you for courage that we keep hearing these things.
Prosíme ťa o odvahu, aby si nám pomohol porozumieť týmto veciam.
And that we might also understand these things.
Prosíme ťa, aby sme to mohli rozumieť a vidieť.
As you promise us, as we search for these things as diligently as for silver and gold.
Ty si nám slúbil, že ak budeme toto usilovne hľadať ako najväčší poklad a zlato,
you will bless our effort and we might find the treasure.
Požehnáš naše úsilie a nájdeme ten poklad.
We ask you that we're able to unlearn what we need to unlearn.
Prosím, pomôž, aby sme sa mohli odučiť, čo sa musíme odučiť.
So we accept the truth you are giving us today.
Aby sme prijali pravdu, ktorú nám dávaš teraz.
In Jesus' name we thank you.
V mene Ježiša ti ďakujeme.
Amen.
Amen.